Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Excuse me. It's one of my little chronicles again, my lunchtime things. The the topic was, what do our inner thoughts do to our external life? Okay, this one really is mainly for the females, even though, the men can listen to it obviously, but this is very much for the feminine. There's a lot of things that's changing. Excuse me. Excuse me. There's a lot of things that are changing nowadays with the feminine. I just looked at a post literally not even a minute ago about, and I don't know the whole story, but things that are changing with the feminine becoming more prominent and more in a divine space. But what, and Spirit's been telling me this for a while, and I just was trying to figure out how to express this term of what I'm talking about. The thing about women and the things that we go through, especially how we think about ourselves in regards to, what happens to our bodies. To go straight to the point, we have cycles every month. Yet, for eons, for decades, for generations, that cycle is being seen as dirty, or you're nasty, or you're smelly, or you're this and you're that. And so even though a lot of people don't speak about it, it's almost like I can't stand it when I'm on my cycle, or I can't stand that space. This is thought about once every month for a period of time. You have other people telling you that, oh, you're unclean. You can't touch this, you can't do that, you did. Every month, or whenever they speak on it. You can't be in anything spiritual if you're on your cycle. You can't do anything you can't do anything when you're on your cycle. So imagine what those thoughts are doing. It creates an inner dialogue that you have with yourself that you're unclean. You're nasty at that time. It is not natural. It's, all these things. It's negative. It's, you're put behind, you step behind, you're put behind other people because of these things. And so it's like we have to change that thought process. It is a part of life, is a part of the things that we go through. Now, I understand that, there's many people that will go out and say that, the female cycle is not natural, that, we're supposed to go back to a certain thing, rare. Yeah, if that's the case, that's the case. But you know what? For the majority of women, we go through a cycle. Childbearing women from young to old go through a space of having cycles, unless they've had the hysterectomy, unless they've had any situations that's happened to them why they can't, they don't menstruate. But we do. But I'm just saying that that's a thought process that we have to shift in ourselves. We shouldn't think that it's nasty and dirty and you're unclean. The only time you're unclean is if you don't bathe. You know what I mean? And that goes with anybody. You could smell some frowsy people walking around and they ain't even got nothing to do with the cycle. So stop putting that negative thought process about yourself, about those things. If it's not a reality, you're only nasty if you are nasty. You know what I mean? It's not about your bodily functions. Look, being graphic, everybody takes a dump. Everybody shits. Are you nasty because you shit? No. It's the fact is what you have to do. You know what I mean? So women need to stop allowing others, and I know it's a lot of patriarchal stuff, to make you feel like you're inferior because you have that cycle, that you are not able to do whatever. I mean, let's be real. Look how many people eat out. How many people eat out and you have no clues who's cooking your food? Whether they're on their cycle. I mean, you've got some nasty people that are on video saying how they're putting bodily fluids. And these are a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of stuff with your food. And people want to say, I'm not going to eat from you because you're on your cycle. Let's be real. Let's be real. You can't stop many people that touch your food, talk less of wrap your food or feed you. You can't stop that. You can't tell when somebody's on their cycle or whether they're not. But I'm saying that the women have to think about how they feel about themselves in that light, because as long as you're always thinking negative, that's a negative imprint that you have on yourself. And that's what's going to end up being manifested externally. Things that you feel like you're not worthy. You feel that it's unacceptable. And this is not true. We have to change the way we think about things. We have to change the way we feel about ourselves. We have to empower ourselves to know that, you know what? When you understand the cycle, it's one of the most powerful times in the month. Once a month is a very powerful time. But because of all the negative talks about it, that's how we feel bad about it. And I'm saying to these young women that's coming up, because this is what brings a lot of, it's another part of self-esteem issues. You can't, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. You are not less than because you have a cycle. You're not dirty because you have a cycle. You're dirty because you don't clean yourself. That's with anybody. So we need to look at it as saying this is something that we have to do. This is something that we live with, and we got to be okay with it. We should never have that negative thought about something that happens naturally in our bodies. It is something that we have to come to terms with and stop seeing it in that light, because so many things have to change in order for us to empower ourselves. It's almost like it's bad enough being second class just because in society. It's even worse being second class because somebody is making you look that way because of the things that you have to deal with on a monthly basis. And it's so not true. These things are not true. Like I said, you're only nasty if you don't bathe, if you're nasty like that. And then that's a personal thing. That's got nothing to do with you being a female. So we have to look at ourselves in a better light and see our strength, see our power, see what it does for us. There's so many things, there's so many rituals that women do when they're on their cycle because there's some serious power that they have. You know what I mean? There's so many things that people do with it. I'm not condoning any of those things that people do with their cycles or whatever. I'm just saying, stop feeling the negative thoughts about you having something natural that happens with you. You know, there's this day and time where women are becoming more prominent. It is a necessity that you feel that strength within you. You feel that strength, you feel that confidence, you feel that power within you in order to be able to stand up in front of many and do what you got to do and to be able to change many people's lives. Exactly. Thank you, Ia. Exactly. We do not have to apologize for being female. What do you mean? Yo, none of you would be here if we didn't have you. Period. Dot. End. Your existence is because we are here. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot need to understand. We're not to be taken, the many years or the thousands of years that we've been put on the back burner is over with. And those who can't handle it, you'll see. Those who can't handle female energy being prominent and being upfront, you will see. You will have no choice other than to accept. The Iyami, the feminine energy, is done away with, being put in the back burner, put in the back. It's like it's done with. The reality and the truth of who we are and what our purpose is and what we've come to do and how we've come to change the reality of this planet is going to be shown. And it starts with us recognizing that power within ourselves. Like I said, there's no such thing as you nasty because you got a cycle. That's all the stuff. See, that's the type of stuff that people want to put inside of you so you don't feel good about yourself, so you feel inferior. These are the stories. And the sad thing is you got women that perpetuate those stories too, because these are the things that have been taught. Those stories those stories will always continue as long as you let them continue. A lie is a lie, whether it's thousands of years ago or today. It doesn't change the fact it's a lie. It only becomes somebody's reality because so many people feed into it. You know what I mean? And today it's time for those things to be over with. People don't want to do the work. Yeah. And it's a shame because